What's going on, guys? Love Smash, back with an all new video for you guys today. And in today's video, I wanted to give you guys my top 5 picks of characters who I think stand a very good shot to be included in a potential Kombat Pack 2. And I've been wanting to do this video for a while, so sorry for taking so long to do it, but I'm very happy to finally get it out to you guys today. Now, there is no official confirmation that we are indeed getting a Kombat Pack 2, however, it has been teased by Ed Boon on 2 separate occasions. The first one came when Ed Boon was asked, "So Ed, are you secretly going to patch in the non-playable characters from the story to make them playable?" And Ed Boon responded by saying, "You mean like a story pack?" So that immediately led a lot of people to believe maybe there's going to be a second Kombat Pack. Now the second one came from somebody asking, "Can you officially deconfirm a Kombat Pack 2? And Ed Boon responded by saying no. So it's good news, meaning we could potentially get one in the future, however it's not been officially confirmed just yet. So for now, this is more of like a speculation video and giving you guys my picks if we do end up getting one, but hopefully we will get one in the future. And if we do end up getting one, I think we'll get 4 characters in it, just like the first Kombat Pack. However, I could be wrong, there could be 2, there could be 6, I have no idea, it could be any number. Now you guys are probably saying, if you think there's going to be 4 characters, why would you do a top 5? Well, a top 5 sounded a lot cleaner to do than a top 4, and also I couldn't narrow my picks down to just 4. And very quickly, the last thing I wanted to mention before we get started is that I'm also going to be discussing 3 characters towards the end of the video that I listed as my honorable mentions. So with all that being said, let's dive right into my first pick with Fujin. And I know a lot of people out there were very disappointed when they found out Fujin really wasn't going to be a part of the main roster in the game, and he wasn't going to be part of the Kombat Pack either. He seemed like a shoo-in, a lot of people really did think so, but unfortunately, he did not make it. Now, I remember when the whole speculation thing was going on for characters and everything, I had a feeling Fujin was going to be in based on his staff weapon, because I was like, just like with Aaron Black when he had a gun on his back in one of the cutscenes in the story mode, Fujin had the staff weapon on his back, so I was like, could that be part of his variation? Does that mean Fujin's going to be playable? Unfortunately, though, it didn't turn out that way. But NetherRealm must be aware of how badly people want him in after not putting him in the game. They teased him in Cassie's fatality when Ed Boon tweeted in her fatality selfie tweet, "Has anyone unlocked Fujin yet?" So NetherRealm must really know how badly people want him in. So if he's not in the Kombat Pack 2, if there is one, I would be very, very surprised. I mean, Fujin's an awesome character. He's badass. He's got unique wind attacks, which I'm sure they could do a lot with 3 different variations with. They could use his giant staff weapon in one of his variations. Like I said before, he's a god. We could always use another god character in there besides Raiden and Shinnok. And I think after everything that happened and NetherRealm knows how badly people want him in, I think Fujin's a pretty safe bet if there is indeed going to be a Kombat Pack 2. Now moving on to my second pick with Baraka. Now I know what you guys are probably saying, but Baraka's dead. He can't be in the Kombat Pack 2. What are you, crazy? He died in the story. He'll never be playable. Melina and Quan Chi both died in the story, and practically every other character is a Revenant. So a lot of characters are dead, but it hasn't stopped them from being playable. So I don't see any different with Baraka here. Now Baraka's been a fan favorite for a long time, even though he hasn't appeared in a lot of MK games, but he's definitely an overall really cool character, and I've always loved Baraka. Because of his design and his Tarkatan blades, he's always been a very unique character. And a lot of you guys may not know this, but him along with Fujin were on my original top 10 for MKX of characters I thought were going to be in. If you guys saw my first video I ever put out. Unfortunately, neither of them made it, but I'm still going to support them and hope they get into MKX someday. Not to mention the team also gave Baraka a very detailed redesign. They gave him dialogue, they gave him a moveset, they made him a non-playable character. Why just not go full-fledged and make him a playable character altogether, even though he currently doesn't have a brain or heart anymore. But anyway, moving on to my pick number 3 is Sindel. Now, a lot of you guys might be saying, why would you pick Sindel? Now, I will admit she's not a character I would particularly play as, and she's not really a personal favorite of mine, but I always found Sindel to be very unique. Her ability to fly, her hair whip move, her screaming moves, it was something you really never saw with any other fighters. So I think there's a lot of potential that could be done to give her 3 very unique variations. They could do one that focuses more on her screaming attacks and make them more powerful or give them more range. They could do one that gives her more unique aerial and flying attacks. They could do the last one that gives her like longer range with her hair moves, or give her juggles or spin moves or something like that with it. I don't know, that's just like throwing ideas out. But just like with Baraka, the team felt to give her dialogue and a more detailed design and a moveset, even though it was copy and paste from Mortal Kombat 9. And I just feel like the NetherRealm team really likes her. And I wanted to include a female on my list, so I was running through all of them. But in the end, I decided to choose her based on how unique she was. But there is another female on my honorable mentions list, but you'll have to wait till the end of the video to see that. Now moving on to pick number 4 with Noob. And by far one of the most popular and highly requested characters for MKX. And if I didn't put him on this list, people would have probably got super pissed with me. So based on his fan demand alone, I had to include him on this list. Now, you guys might be saying two things to yourselves. You're either saying, well, Noob wasn't in the MKX story, so he's not going to be playable, or you're probably saying that Noob died in MK9 and he's not going to be playable. Now, just because you didn't appear in the MKX story doesn't mean you can't be playable as DLC. I mean, look at Goro and Tremor. They didn't appear, but yeah, they're DLC. And as far as Noob dying in MK9, we never did get an official confirmation that he died. In fact, I think one of the developers for NetherRealm actually stated that it's up for the fans to decide, so it's still a mystery. So Noob could have very well been killed when Nightwolf kicked him into the Soulnado, or you never know, it could have transported him to another place or dimension or something, so we really don't have an official confirmation. But even if Noob did die, a lot of characters in Mortal Kombat normally don't stay dead. For example, when you look at Sub-Zero, he was turned into a cyborg, and then he was magically turned back into a human. That's just MK logic. They could do anything, make up any story, and bring a character back. It doesn't matter. Now, if Noob was to be in MKX, I would love to see what they do for his variations, because he was by far one of the most unique characters in MK9 with his ability to summon clones and to have the dark portals and the black holes and open those up. So I would love to see how that would translate into 3 different variations. Now, Noob isn't a character I particularly play as, but I know a lot of people love him, so who knows what the future holds. Maybe down the line we'll get a Kombat Pack 2 and we could very well see Noob be brought back. Now moving on to the 5th and final pick on my list with Cyrax, one of my all-time favorite MK characters, by far my favorite character from MK3. Always loved using him. A lot of people see him as very cheesy with his net move, but I think he's one of the coolest and most unique characters in the entire series. And just like with Noob, here's another character we never got a confirmation whether they lived or died. But the last time we saw Cyrax in MK9, all he did was get beat up and knocked out. We didn't see him get his head ripped off or his heart ripped out or anything like that. He still could very well be alive, and I have a feeling he is. I don't think they would kill Cyrax off screen and that's it. I kind of have a feeling he is still very well alive. Now in MKX, we didn't hear anything about him. We did find out Sector died, however. Sub-Zero did kill Sector, but Cyrax, we don't know. Now, I asked Sean Kittleson on Twitter, for those of you guys who don't know who he is the one writing the MKX comic, and I asked him if we would find out what happens to Cyrax in one of the issues, and he responded by saying, maybe. So then I responded by saying, so you're telling me there's a chance? And he favorited the comment. So I do have a very good feeling we'll end up finding out what happens to him in one of the issues of the MKX comic. Whether he's alive or dead, I have no idea, but personally, I do think Cyrax will live, because like when you go back to watch MK9 with the whole Cyborg initiative and the Lin Kuei, Sector was all in favor of it. However, Cyrax was not. Cyrax always seemed like the good out of the two of them. So I have a feeling if it came down to him and Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero might have let him live and then he killed Sector. But I really don't think they would kill a character like Cyrax being very popular off screen and then never mention it again. So I do have a feeling he is still alive, but I could be wrong, he could be dead, but here's hoping he is still alive. Now, I know a lot of people want to see some cyborgs in MKX because we don't have any. I mean, we have Jax with his cybernetic arms and we have like Predator who has cybernetic characteristics, but we don't have a full-fledged cyborg, and that's what MKX is lacking, so I would love to see Cyrax return. I remember there was a tweet a long time back where Ed Boon, like somebody asked him saying, are there going to be any cyborg characters in MKX? And he said, you realize all the characters haven't been revealed yet, but that was a long time ago. It could have easily been a troll tweet. He could have been referring to Jax or Predator, but who knows? Maybe he was hinting at something in the future. I have no idea, but I love Cyrax. I think it'd be awesome to see him back as DLC, so here's hoping he is, and here's hoping he is still very well much alive. So guys, those are all the 5 picks that I had for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my picks. Let me know in the comments who you guys would like to see as DLC. I don't know which 4 would be on the list, but those are the 5 I managed to come up with. So now, like I promised, I am going to talk about 3 characters right now as my honorable mentions, meaning characters I originally wanted to include on my list, but for one reason or another, I decided to leave them off. So let's talk about the first character with Smoke. So I know a lot of you guys are probably upset with me for not including Smoke on my list, but I do have a good reason. Now, there's no doubt Smoke is very popular, a fan favorite, and all-around very awesome character. But the reason I decided not to include him on my list and thinks his chances of being DLC are very slim is because he already appears in MKX as a faction kill. One of the faction kills involves summoning Smoke to kill your opponent. So I think it would be very strange if you were fighting someone who was playing as Smoke and then you use that faction kill. It would be Smoke killing Smoke. It just wouldn't make any sense. Now, unless like the team did something where they eliminated this feature from the game, or they put something in the code where you couldn't pull this off against somebody who was playing as Smoke, okay, then I can see Smoke getting in. However, I do see this as very unlikely, but hey, you never know. But another reason I feel like Smoke may not get in is because Ed Boon responded to a fan asking, will Smoke be in MKX someday? And Ed Boon said, wish I had better news for you, and posted up a photo of a graveyard. Now, a lot of people took this as Smoke being deconfirmed. Now, I don't know if this officially deconfirmed Smoke, or this was just Ed Boon trolling, but based on everything, I feel like Smoke's chances are very slim. But don't lose all hope just yet, because you never know, there's still the chance we could see Smoke in Mortal Kombat 11. But moving on to my next pick with Rain. Now, no doubt, Rain has a very dedicated fan base. A lot of people want to see him back as DLC. And if you guys remember, when I did my Final Boss Big Bad video, Rain was actually one of my choices who I thought was going to be the final boss for MKX. Of course, it didn't turn out that way. But I have some theories about him, of how he can play out in MK11, but that'll be a future video when I do my whole Mortal Kombat 11 story speculation video. But the reason I see Rain's chances of being very slim is because Ed Boon stated really on before MKX even came out, like when it was first unveiled, that Rain's chances of being DLC were very slim because he was DLC already in Mortal Kombat 9. Not to mention there was another Twitch interview when MKX first came out where somebody asked him to deconfirm a character and he said there are no current plans to do Rain, but that hasn't stopped him from going on Twitter and teasing and trolling people about it. Like every week or two there's a new troll tweet about Rain. So I don't know what Ed Boon's getting at there. I don't know if he just likes to mess with people, if he's hinting at Rain as DLC, or maybe he's hinting at something in a future MK game. I have no idea. But as we know, Rain was a DLC character in MK9, and I kind of feel that NetherRealm has done that once before, so I really don't think they're going to make people pay for the same character again, unless Rain was going to be some kind of free DLC. Okay, that'd be perfectly fine, but I really don't see them making people pay for the same character yet again. So with Rain out of the way, let's get on to my last and final pick for my honorable mention, and that is Serena. Now, a lot of you guys are probably saying, why Serena? Who in the world is Serena? Whatever. Now, she was a character that first made her debut in Sub-Zero Mythologies and has since then been in Armageddon as a playable character, and she had a cameo appearance in MKX. And she's never been a character I particularly liked back in those days with Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And to me, she was kind of like this forgettable character. I wasn't really a fan of her design, and there was nothing about her moveset that really stood out as being very unique. However, when I saw her redesign in MKX and I saw her look, I was like, you know what? Here's a character I think NetherRealm can do something really special with if they do her right. Meaning, like, she's kind of like Tremor in a way where she's kind of like a blank canvas and a lump of clay where they can mold her and shape her and make her a very special and very unique character if they give her the right moves and variations. I don't know what they would do for possible options, but I feel like she's a character they could do a lot with, because she never had a true identity in the past. But she's not a character I'm particularly pulling for, but I feel like there's a lot they could do with her, which is why I listed her as one of my honorable mentions. So guys, those are my picks. I hope you guys like it. Those are my 5 picks along with my 3 honorable mentions. Let me know in the comments what you think of them, and let me know in the comments who you guys would like to see in a potential Kombat Pack 2. And before I go, the last thing I wanted to do is give a shout out to one of my good friends on Twitter that asked me for one. If you guys would like to follow the very lovely and funny Rachel on Twitter, be sure to @KombatCast. But anyway, guys, that is the video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, if you guys are fighting game fans and you want the latest news and speculation on games like Mortal Kombat, Super Smash Bros, Pokken Tournament, and Street Fighter, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Also, you guys can follow me on Twitter. The link will be in the comments and description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my picks, and I'll see you guys soon with a brand new video.